Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Jess of Crack Creations, and this is going to be another just crochet and chill with me. It is Friday, so as you can see I am back at Skein. I will be here all day. Tonight, I don't think there's anything special like last week's trinket trade, but there is sip and stitch tonight, so we'll have some friends over to do some crafts with us. I had decision paralysis trying to pack my bag to come in here today, so I have 4 projects with me. I have a hat that I've been working on for a couple of weeks. It should only take a day to make it, but I've been bored with making it, so it hasn't gone as swimmingly as it should. What else do I have? I have a market bag that was started a long time ago that I want the hook back, so I'm gonna finish that and use that hook for another thing I brought. You haven't seen it yet, but a couple years ago I made a sun hat that I love and I wanted to sell at markets, but I made a second one and I don't know what went wrong with the second one. It didn't come out right. I don't know. I don't really remember when I made them, so I don't know if then I knew what I did wrong, but they look very different. So I'm going to try to replicate the good one because I think it's adorable and I would love to sell it at my markets. So I brought the yarn for that. It's like a nice kind of like straw hat kind of look, but it uses ribbon yarn. I love it, and I think for me, I feel like it looks very flattering on me. So I should use the one that I have that looks good, right? But I don't, because it's just been sitting in timeout because I'm just mad at how the second one came out. Not at all like the first one. And then I have another bag pattern. I have made one before. It is the donut bag by Galk. It's B-Y-G-A-L-K. They're very cute. I made one in cotton yarn the first time. This time I have a ton of Bernat Maker Home Deck yarn. I don't think it exists anymore. I think it exists under a different name, but it's very sturdy. I am going to double strand it and see how that looks in this bag style. Maybe that'll be the bag that finally wins me over to sell at markets. But that's the plan. Right now, I just opened the shop. It's 11:55. The shop opens in 5 minutes technically, but I'm ready to go. So if anyone comes in, it's fine. But I'm gonna eat lunch, and then I have the hat out to get started. And I think that's it for now. Future Jess here. Hi, I just realized that my mic had stopped connecting to my camera. So in the following probably half of this video, you will be hearing the air conditioner. You might hear the World Cup game playing. I hope that you can still hear everything, but now I know what happened and I know how to fix it. I know how to fix it in terms of connecting the mic to the camera. So hopefully the remainder of the video will be decent. I just realized that today is First Friday. It's July 3rd and it's the first Friday of the month. So that is a big deal in Lancaster City. I don't really know what it's about. I'm anticipating it to be pretty busy today. I don't know if it's a tonight thing or an all-day thing. I should probably look it up, but I just realized that that's happening today. So there should be a decent crowd. However, we've been open for 45 minutes at this point and no one's come in yet. But it's also over 100 degrees outside, and I don't know about you, but I don't want to be walking around in 100-degree weather. I cannot handle the heat. Physically, no thank you. It's pretty brutal out there. The air conditioner is trying to work in here. I'm pretty comfortable right now, so that's good. But I think my assumption right now is that no one's come in because of the heat. Maybe when it gets darker, it'll cool down a little bit, but it also gets dark later now, so we're only open till 8 o'clock. I don't know. It's going to be a interesting day to see the heat plus the first Friday activities plus Sip and Stitch tonight, just to see what kind of crowd comes in here today. This hat, I think, the reason it's taking me so long is because I'm using a different yarn than I normally do. I typically use an acrylic, but now I'm using a wool. I'm trying to use up some of my stash, you know, I have plenty of yarn. I don't need to go buying anymore. So I'm trying to make some of my items with stuff I already have. And I really liked this color of wool. So it's the making process, it's a different texture. And I just switched my hook out because I happen to have the same size. But I was using this custom made hook. It's gorgeous, I love it, and it's comfortable, but I think working with this yarn, the two things just weren't working well together. So I just switched over to one of my crayon hooks, and it seems to be a smoother process for now. We'll see how long that lasts. But I'm kind of running out of yarn. I don't know that I'll be able to finish the hat while I'm here. I do have more of this yarn at home, so don't worry. I am antsy to get this one done, or as much of it as I can, so I can move on to the bag next, because I really want to work on the summer sun hat. Because I really want it to look like the first one again. That I definitely won't finish while I'm here, because the very last step of the sun hat is to use galvanized wire and work your last row around it, so it gives the brim, it helps the brim maintain its shape and like stand upright, not up, you know what I mean, like go out flat. And I don't have that with me, and I do need to go get wire cutters for that, but I'm anxious to start working on it. But I need to do better about finishing projects that I've started, because not that I'm now noticing, but my boyfriend's mom came over last night to drop off a pie for us, and I was showing her all the new things I've started making and how none of them are finished. I keep getting new patterns and starting them, and then like I'll finish one and then I'll start on a second one to build up inventory, you know, but then I'll like halfway through the second one I'll put it down and move on to something else. This hat, like I mentioned, all the different factors of it, it could be done in a day, but the day I started it, I guess, wasn't the correct day to be starting it. It's also the summer and 100 degrees, so who wants to work on wool hats? But actually, people are buying winter accessories at summer shows. My next one in Lidditz in August. I'm always bringing my winter hats and gloves, and people are buying them, preparing for the colder months. So never say never. So I'm trying to finish some things that I already have started before moving on to a new project. You know, it's a lot easier with the plushies. They work up quicker, and I can just like batch make a whole bunch of them. Can't really do that in this situation. I was talking to Dave's mom last night, back to my decision paralysis, that I really don't know what I want to be selling right now. It's so easy for Comic-Cons because just make all the plushies. But when I'm making a new product for these non-Comic-Cons, I'm always visualizing how my booth is going to look and what changes we can make to improve or to fit in new products. And there were just some things like the market bags that just visually didn't look good in my space. Honestly, I just don't think they met my standards. The bags themselves are great. I think back to using the stuff I already have. I think the colors that I just have right now are not it for me. And for the straps, I was going off script for them. Instead of doing a chain for your base of your straps and then like working around that, I would do a foundation single crochet, which makes it more stable, but the shape of the strap was just coming out a little wonky. Like it was wavy and like tighter on one end than the other. It just didn't look good, and I'm like, I don't feel good selling this to people. So market bags are still up in the air. I think I do like the Japanese knot bags. I don't really like the colors that I've done so far. Again, it was just because I already had those colors on hand. They don't really blend well together. So it just kind of looks chaotic and messy. So I need to see. We have some cotton yarn here. I wonder how they would work up in a Japanese knot bag. But I do need to do some yarn shopping. I don't know. I need to figure something out. And I think I mentioned in last week's video the cardigans that I'm making currently. I said the gray one that I just finished the 2 hexies for, I was going to do cream and then a red stripe to make it look like the sock monkey. But I don't think that gray is really that gray, like the sock monkey gray. I have another kind of variegated gray that would be better, but I said the cream color, the other one, the cream colored one, I was gonna do like varsity stripes on it, and I think I like that idea for any solid colors that I do. I think that could be my thing. So I think the gray one, I'm also gonna do varsity stripes. Right now I just need to figure out what color I want to pair the gray with. I could do a flip-flop, like the gray with the, it's a linen color, so I could do gray with linen stripes, and then the linen one I could do with gray stripes. That's a thought right now. But I would also like to maybe add some color to it. I don't know. But those are colors I have on hand right now, so that would be the smart thing to do instead of buying more yarn. I also want to get some of the Karen cakes from Michaels for some of the Hexie cardigans that are like color phasing. Those would just be the cake itself, because it does its own color changing thing. There's no need to add like varsity stripes or anything to it, so I'm not going to buy that yarn until I finish with the two that I already have going right now. One thing at a time. I need to learn that. About 32 rows. So I've got about 18 left, I think. This is a very simple beanie pattern. It's a ribbed look that decreases on one end. That makes it, if you just do rows without this decrease, you just do straight rows for however many you need to fit around your head. It creates kind of a point at the top, which I don't like. So there's a technique where you do smaller stitches on the one end, which will be your top end, and once you do all the joining and you cinch this together, it won't be pointy. It'll be a nice clean finish, and I like it. This is also, I started this, not this hat, but this style of hat last year for Bears games. I wanted just a solid brown hat to wear to the Hershey Bears, and I whipped one up really quick, and it was one of my favorite hats that I've ever worn in winter, and I thought it was cute, so I just decided that that was going to be my new style of hat that I was going to sell. Every year seems to be a different one, but I think this one is sticking. The other ones I've made in the past, while adorable, just take a little bit longer to make. Speaking of hats, I think I'm also going to do like an ear flap hat this year. I have a couple patterns, and there's one that I made when it first came out, and it came out really cute and I loved it, but then I never made another one. But I think I might visit that pattern again and see how well they do at shows. I still have a ton of pom-poms for hats. So once I don't I don't add them to this hat. I just think they're too big. I have the big palms. I have like the 5-inchers, and I just think they're too big for this because this will also roll up. You can wear it unrolled with like a little slouch in the back, but you roll it up for a brim situation. And I just think the palm is too much for it. So I have a bunch of them that I need hats for. So I think they would look really cute on the ear flap hats. Well, I was right about the hat. I ran out of yarn. I have that much left, and I have about 6-ish rows left. This is the current status. So now that got put to the side, and I am working on finishing a mesh market bag. The mesh part is the worst part. It just takes forever and it gets really boring. But I'm determined to finish it. I want this hook back and I want to start working on the hat. So, gonna start working on the bag. As a shock to absolutely no one, I got so bored of making that market bag so fast. I just really wanted to get started on this hat, so that's what I did. I just took the hook and I got started. So far, it's going swimmingly. It's just the increases right now. This is what I was talking about. It's like a, kind of gives a straw hat kind of look to it. So yeah, that is what I am currently working on because I didn't want to work on the mesh market bag. I was over it. There's just so much chaining and chain one-ing. Nope, chaining and single crochet. And I had to do it for 40 rows. And right now I have 10 rows left of that. And I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it at all. So I put it away and I got the hat out and that's what I'm going to do. I can do whatever I want. So I'm going to work on the hat. Bored, and I don't think I've given you guys a tour yet of the new space since we moved to Lancaster, so I thought we would use this time to look around. Alright, so I'm behind the counter. It's the checkout area. We have a little bathroom, and here's the door where you will come in. You walk into this. Straight ahead of you are just some of the notions and tools that we have. We've got a cart of cotton. Following in a big circle, this is our project bag wall. This is a new color we have, and I kind of really want it. I'm trying to resist right now. But we've got some yarn and some felt doll kits. Lots of felt kits. Some nice witchy artwork on the walls. More project kits. It's essentially all the same product that was in the last store, but in a new location and a new layout. I think these are new. These are crop tops. And then these are definitely new. There is a new logo, I think, for this store. An artist friend of Mary's designed the new logo that they painted on the wall. That is the owners, Mary and Meg, aka Snake and Skein. Here's our new sip and stitch area. This is where everyone comes to hang out and do all their crafts Friday nights and Saturday mornings. We did add a little coffee bar here. I might need to pour myself a cup of coffee because I am still sleepy today and I forgot caffeine. So a little clearance bin and then all the yarn. Check it all out. I see the same stuff every time I'm here, but I think of new things to make every single time. It's very dangerous. I have been waiting for this Fiber MacGyver color Kelly green for us to have enough stock of it that I could buy a sweater's quantity and make a sweater with it, because I really like that color green, if you couldn't tell by the shirt that I'm wearing. And we'll go back down. Oops. We have our sticker wall. And then our little tables in the middle. We've got some stickers, junk journals, some notions and loom kits. The hair clips, again, we have gotten at least one new one. That one is a ball of yarn with both knitting needles and a crochet hook. Some buttons. Candles and notions boxes. I made these mugs for the shop. I have a sublimation printer now. And I had a mug press from Cricut. So Mary asked me to make some shop mugs. So on one side is the OG logo, and on the other is the new mural. I made mugs very similar to this. This was definitely on it, but on the other side was like a craft club image, because when we were in Elizabethtown, we had a craft club. You know, you paid $10 a month, I think, and then we would meet in a space above the shop. It was a cute little area, and it was just basically you chilled, and there were snacks and sometimes events like some full moons and like different seasonal things. We would all just hang out, and it was a fun time. So I made the craft club mugs, and it was a big hit. So she asked me to make those for the shop. Continuing, we have this backspace. And this is where we will hold classes. So in the old shop, it was again an additional room with the table and everything that we had classes. That is very cramped in there. So this is much more space. I haven't taught anything yet, but we still have Granny Camp on the agenda. I think we're just taking a break from it at the moment in the summer, because we think in the summertime people are less interested in classes or less likely to sign up. So this is just our class table. And then fun little story about this shop is in this little alcove, we think we have the ghost of a cat in here. I believe her name is Celine. Mary and Meg, when we moved in here, they did like a cleanse of the shop, and I don't know the specifics, so I could be totally wrong, but someone came in and like just read the space and cleansed it, and I guess the aura of a cat is present in this space. So we have a little shrine with some cat toys and a bowl. But it's just a fun thing. So that is the shop in a nutshell. I still think this has been a great move for Snake and Skein. It's not busy right now, but it was pretty steady earlier. They're getting a lot more business here. They're getting a lot more eyes. Lancaster is a very walkable city, so people just, they don't know what the shop is, they'll just come in here and just, check it out. So yeah, that is the shop, and that is where most of my videos happen, behind the counter. So that's it. So a bit of an update for you guys. It right now is Monday evening. We have been without power since Saturday. A huge storm came through Saturday night. It was insane. I stood out in our sunroom and I watched most of it. It did get to a scary point at one point, so I removed myself from the back of the house into a more secure area. But I live in the woods, so I was just watching the trees hold on for dear life with the wind that came through. But it took out our power. And so it's been over 48 hours, coming up on 72. The last time I heard from our power company, an estimated restoration time is tomorrow, Tuesday at 11 p.m. I haven't heard any updates since then. But, I'm hoping it comes back at that point. If it comes back before, that would be amazing. But we've kind of just been sitting in the dark for the most part. Last night, we went out to dinner. Dave's old school friend who lives in Michigan was in town visiting his family. And we went out to dinner with them. And another storm came through last night during dinner. Honestly, as we were getting the check, we could hear the rain come pouring outside, and every single person's phone in the restaurant was going crazy with the severe weather alerts. I was getting messages on my phone for an imminent threat. First there was a tornado and then flooding, and I haven't heard any reports about a tornado, but the flooding was for real. When we left, we were going to try to stick it out at the restaurant, but it kept pouring for hours. It took us a very long time to get home, even though the restaurant wasn't that far, but every road was flooded. And there's only one way in and out of our neighborhood, and all the ways to get to the in and out were closed or flooded. There's a pond down the street that I've never seen it that high before, but we drove around a little to see if any of our options were available to get home, because the dog was here. I wanted to get home and be with her. But everything was closed because there was, from the previous storm, damage, trees fallen, wires down. So we eventually just parked the car for a minute, and then the rain eventually stopped. And the pond flooding, after a couple minutes, it eventually subsided enough that we could get through. So we eventually made it home, and we did make it home last night, which is good. And then my work building also lost power. So today they issued everybody work from home day, which sucked for me because I have no power and no internet, so I couldn't hook up my work stuff. I had planned on going to the office today, but that was not an option. So fortunately, Dave's parents, who also lost power for at least over 24 hours, they got their power back last night while we were out. So we were fingers crossed we got ours back too, because they're not too far down the street. So they got their power back, and today I was able to go over and do my full-time job work. So that's where we currently stand. We're stuck in a very boring situation, just waiting it out until we get power. We have options, we have places to go. Yeah, that's it. There's just been a lot going on. Very stressed, very exhausting. So that's where I'm going to leave it for this week. I think hanging out at the shop and giving you guys a tour of the new shop was a good video. Hopefully you thought so. I appreciate you all for sticking around. Do all the things, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time with hopefully a better situation. Bye.